is push hands, the applied branch of Tai Chi. Yes, the slow-flowing movements that you see people doing at the park, it has a martial arts application behind it. I just did a 5-day, 6-hour-a-day course with Master Fu Neng in China, and I'm here to share how push hands improved my understanding of Tai Chi. Push hands refers to a style of martial competition, as well as a large library of exercises that help develop skills and awareness for such competitions. I was training with Master Fu Neng Bing. This guy has a lot of impressive credentials to his name, including many championship titles, but what impressed me the most and made me want to work with him is that I could see his power over even potato quality video. You can see he goes from a soft, heavy bag of sand to a bolt of lightning that can throw people across the room. I've personally always been drawn to the form side of martial arts more than the applied side, but I wanted to train with Master Fu to better understand where the principles of the form come from. Without martial application, it's kind of a mystery to why anything is the way that it is. Why are we so relaxed? Why are our hands like this? Why are our hips like this? Why are we always coiling our arms, etc., etc.? I've been told and reminded many times over and over that the answer lies in application, and so I wanted to train with Master Fu and find out. This video is not at all intended to be comprehensive documentation on the relationship between Tai Chi and push hands. I literally only studied push hands for 5 days, but I did learn a few big ideas that will stick with me, and I wanted to share them with you guys. To understand this, first it helps to understand how push hands competition is conducted. There are 2 versions, fixed step and moving step. They can use techniques attacking from the waist up, pushing, pulling, grabbing, sweeping to try to get the other player to move their feet. In moving step, players are in a small ring. They use the same techniques and more to try to take their opponent to the ground or push them out of the ring. So how does this make Tai Chi make any sense? First of all, we have to talk about being relaxed. When you are practicing Tai Chi, the forms, you are constantly relaxing and re-relaxing everything. Why? First of all, if you're relaxed, it makes you much harder to move. If you're rigid, you can essentially just be driven off the floor or pushed out of a ring. On the other hand, if you're soft, pushing you is like pushing into a wall of mud or a water balloon. Here I'm working with a woman who is about my size and over twice my age. She's trained Tai Chi intensively over the years, and it's actually infuriatingly difficult to try to push her across the floor because she's so relaxed she keeps dispelling my force in different directions. We also practice being relaxed in a way that easily lets us intentionally direct force in different directions. Another reason that relaxation is so fundamental to Tai Chi is that it allows you to listen to your opponent's power. We call this tingjian, or listening power. This is one of Master Fu's longtime students, extremely relaxed. He is sensing everything that's going on in his opponent's body. Because he listens so intensely, when his opponent makes a move, it's easy for him to respond appropriately, such as redirecting the force. The third reason to stay relaxed is that it allows you to fajin, or express power, without losing your groundedness. This is especially important in the hips. If the hips are rigid and you fajin, you will most likely get off balance. Instead, remaining relaxed in your hips allows you to remain rooted to the ground as you move and express power. This brings me to the next important point, that of being rooted, which is useful for obvious reasons. If your weight is low and close to the ground, it makes you a lot harder to move and to tip over. Second of all, being rooted to the floor also lets you use the stability of the floor to generate force. At the same time as you're rooted to the ground, you also want to have your head lifted upwards. In Tai Chi, we say 虚灵顶尖, which might translate to suspending the crown of your head. Practically speaking, if your head isn't upwards, it's easy to push you off balance. Something that this workshop made me realize over and over again is just how many grabbing and dragging movements there are in Tai Chi. Basically, if your arms are active and it's not clear how your hands might be manipulating someone's arm, wrist, shoulder, or body, your hands are probably not in the right position. On the flip side, if someone has your arm, oftentimes the easiest way to get out of their grip is just rotating your forearm out of it. This makes a lot of sense in Chun style Tai Chi because we are constantly rotating our forearms, this turning, chuan, or threading motion. Actually, for the first 15 or 20 minutes of practice every day, we would practice Da Luan, which is a partner exercise where we're essentially practicing sensing each other's force, feeling each other's forearm and wrist, and then redirecting the force, gripping and escaping grips, regripping and escaping grips. When you're working with an opponent rather than a partner, it makes immediate sense why this is useful. I constantly fell back on the drilling of that spiraling motion to get out of my opponent's grip. The last thing that I want to talk about is this particular move, which is a way to get your opponent off balance. My teacher says that this is a very, very exaggerated version of xing, this dipping downward movement done in many Chun style forms. Essentially, you're moving under an opponent's arm and then twisting into them, throwing them off balance. I mean, I'm personally not going to be brave enough to throw this anytime soon, but I really do appreciate the context because I can use it to add intention to how I work on my forms. Overall, this workshop was extremely exhausting and extremely insightful. We technically had 8 hours in the studio every day, but we spent a lot of that time drinking tea, snacking, hanging out, and stretching. That said, it was still a ton of movement and information to digest. Looking back, I definitely regret not staying with Fu Laoshi longer. In my current trip to China, I am checking out a handful of different places so that I can figure out if I want to stay in any place longer in the future. The downside of that being that I don't get to experience any single place that deeply. I am already at a different school and I already miss having that application aspect as a background for why each movement is the way that it is. Not because I necessarily want to gain skills in application, but because having that application for context is just so grounding to answer questions for why is a movement the way that it is and what makes it correct or incorrect. By the way, if you're interested in training with Master Fu, he is currently teaching in Nanning, China. I will put the WeChat ID of his wife and admin in the description. Both he and his wife speak English and they are so kind. I highly recommend reaching out if you want to study push hands, and if you do, please mention me. Thanks and 加油!